Dala. Welcome. So in today's episode, we are going to talk about the truth and living your truth. So first, to begin with, we will see what do we mean by truth. So when we look at the definition of the term truth, we find several things. First one is the truth can be defined as the quality or the state of being true. It can also be seen as a fact or a belief accepted as true. It can also be defined as something which is true or in acceptance with fact or reality. Of course, since we mentioned true, the state of being true, accepted as true, we should look into what is the meaning behind the word true. True is often defined as something that is in accordance with fact or reality, or something that's accurate or exact. So now we see that what we perceive as being true, or the truth, is something that has been accepted and which is in accord with reality or facts. Now, to go a little deeper, when we are talking about the truth, or more precisely talking about your own truth, here we are not talking about generalization, because each of us do not have the same reality. Each of us do not have the same experiences. Therefore, what we consider to be our own truth may sometimes be our truth, meaning that it is not being shared or even accepted by others. See, what we experience, the reality that one person experiences, may be very, very different from what others may experience in their own reality, in their own lives. And therefore, it is very difficult, even though we are sharing this plane, this space, and we are currently sharing the same time, we may not always share the same experiences or even the same reality. And that is not due to some trickery, but that is due to a lot of it, due to our perception, and also due to this 5% that I often mention of things that we are here to experience. And we are sometimes experiencing those things with other people. Other people may experience similar things to us. But for the most part, those things are not shared. Those things are not often even acknowledged by others. And that is okay. Of course, the blatant divisions or the blatant differences in reality or experiences can be seen, for example, when we have someone who's having experience where they're experiencing financial poverty, while others are financially abundant. You can have someone experiencing a moment of sickness. It can be extreme sickness. It can even be fatal sicknesses, while others may only enjoy health throughout their experiences. So we have this notion that we all share the same reality, we all share the same experiences, while oftentimes there are lots and lots of nuances in terms of the actual experiences that we have, but also in terms of how we perceive each of these experiences. For example, for one person, a breakup may be a lapse in time, something that doesn't work out. They move on really quickly, very easily, and manage to see the bright side, the lesson learned, the gift of that relationship. For others, very same breakup may be a deeper hurdle, may be a deeper length of emotions, of deceptions and what have you. That can be a turmoil to depression for other things. Same context, different perception, different experiences, different realities. This is why you also often experience people who will say they only had wonderful relationships that ended up on a somewhat mutual agreement where they can remain friends with the people they've dated or the people they've been with, while others wouldn't. While others may have a series of meeting people who were highly offensive or highly aggressive or what have you, a series of meeting negative or having negative experiences. So we see quickly that reality is not this big grand trend that we are all on, but maybe sections into different wagon with different seats, and depending where you are on the train, you may not only see a very different landscape, but the experiences and the way you perceive the experiences may give you something totally different from somebody who's in the back of the train, right behind you, or in the middle of the train. Therefore, when you're thinking about my truth and living my truth, this is about owning your experience. This is about owning your experience. This is about recognizing what is happening and recognizing absolutely that other people may not share the same facts as you went through, may not share the same belief as you, and certainly may not share the same experiences. And I think that is the most difficult part, to accept that others may not share the same experiences as you, that others may have a perception, an experience, a view of their reality that is completely different, sometimes even opposite to what you are going through, or to what you have experiences, or even to what you can possibly, potentially imagine can happen. And that is okay. So in these steps, in this concept, in this discussion about owning your truth, living your truth, there are a few things to take in consideration. The first one is simply to know your truth. Taking conscience of your truth and the state in which you are living. It's important. It's important to face, if you're currently in a moment of financial poverty, for example, take the time to acknowledge that. The truth that you have, as we'll see a little bit later, is not definite. Okay, as we say, experiences start and the end, and other experiences comes. We experience many things at the same time. Sometimes we experience different things consequently. Therefore, the truth that we may perceive when we are 5 years old or 6 years old may change, may morph by the time we get 16, by the time we get 26, or by the time we get 36. So there is no point to focalize yourself in denying the experience that you're having, or denying the reality that is currently yours. On the contrary, by acknowledging that reality, then you can go to the second consideration, which is to accept and assume your truth, to live your truth. And by living and accepting this truth, what great opportunity comes with that is that you have the ability to modify, to change what I've always mentioned in some of my videos, which are 95% of your experience is based on your own decision, on your own perception. And as I see it, 5% are elements that you need to be confronted with that are outside of the purview of your own control. But this 95%, that juicy portion of the fruit, is really what you can have the latitude to explore, to accept, and above all, to change and modify. The experiences that you have are based on the choices that you've made. And some of them also are influenced by your way of perceiving what is happening to you, or what is happening in the reality that is yours. And you have that call, you have that latitude to work to change the element that you find displeasing, that are within your own truth, within the truth that is yours. Now that we said this, it's important to know that your truth can change. Your circumstances can change. Your perception can change. This is why I've mentioned earlier that your truth is not static. Your truth morphs with time. Your truth may change with time at any given moment. And you have some leeway, you have some latitude in influencing, in changing that truth. And even if all fails, you always, one thing is for sure, that you always have the latitude to perceive whatever truth that is yours in a different way. in a way that may be more beneficial for you. Nonetheless, and this is the last point I will leave you with, knowing your truth, understanding your truth, even sometimes being very passionate and vocal with your truth, are all things that are open for you to do. However, last thing to consider is not to force others to live your truth, not to force others to believe in your truth, or even to force them to join your reality. You have to understand if that truth is yours, therefore you can't force anyone to jump in there. You can't force anyone to believe in what you believe, or to do as you see, or to perceive as you perceive. The best or the worst or the most, I will say the most you can do is introduce your reality, introduce the facts that are in accordance with your perception and your experience, and let them decide. Some of them will join, some of them will accept it and make it part of their reality, but some of them will reject it, and rightfully so, because just like you, they also have the latitude in choosing what comes into their reality, in choosing what are their beliefs, what fact correlate with their own experience. And that portion is out of your control. And should you try to convince others or even try to force others, you will certainly end up depleted. And that's something to take in consideration when you're thinking about how you want to invest your own energy, how you want to invest in your own experiences. Do you want to spend your experiences trying to make other people believe in the experiences that you have to bring them into your own reality? Or would you want to put that energy towards modifying your own experience, modifying your own perception, working on modeling your reality to something that is more pleasant to you, to something that you aspire to have, to experience, to see, to be? Those are choices. And as you learn your truth, as you discover and you explore on the path toward the truth that is yours, do it with joy, do it with curiosity, do it with humbleness, do it with empathy and compassion for yourself and for those who will share that reality with you, who will share those experiences with you, and do it without judgment. Judgment may be the biggest thing that holds you back on your journey. Judgment about who you used to be, judgment about who you're not yet, or judgment about who you could have been, who you could be in the future. Release the judgment and stay focused on the things that you would like to experience, the things that you would like to change, and the goodness that is awaiting you. Live and speak your truth.